to just like go to it and then sometimes pause and read the comments and see if there are any questions. Okay, so let's actually dig into creating colors. So for creating colors, there are different tools that you can use. There's one called let me open a new window. Okay, live dashboard. Let me open a new window over here. For example, there's one called coolors.co. And this one is actually pretty cool because you can generate like random colors. So you can start the generator, you press it, and then it gives you a random color palette, which is sometimes it's cool because of the serendipity of it. It's just like, I don't know, it's sometimes you don't really have an idea of like what to create. So this random generator is pretty cool. You can also explore some of the palettes that other people have made, and you can even put them like in like the best, the ones that people have upvoted, and you can just like, oh man, apparently my internet is not that great. There you go. So these are some palettes that other people have done. Let's see this one. You view it, and then you can copy the colors of each one, and it looks pretty good, right? It looks nice. I'm going to there's another one called from Adobe, which is Colors Adobe, I think, color.adobe.com. This one is actually okay. Sign in. No, stop. This one is actually pretty cool because it gives you the ability to create your colors using different rules for analog colors, monochromatic, triad, complementary. I usually like the complementary one because you move it and then it creates a color that is in one side of the spectrum and combines it with another one that is on the other side of the spectrum. So for example, this blue and just like oranges on the other side, like this blue and the oranges on the other side, like they both complement each other, and it's like pleasing to the eyes to have those both colors together. So you can just like move around this thing. You have a key color, like this is my base color apparently, and then you move the base color and then the rest move. Actually, you can move any of the colors and then the rest move, but like the one in the middle is like your base color, and then here you can just copy the hex codes, or you can just like download it and put it on Illustrator or Photoshop. I usually just take a screenshot and then just like grab the colors from the actual screenshot. I have like, they give you so many tools to actually copy paste and do it the right way. I usually just like will take a screenshot of this and then just use the screenshot and just like use the pick color to actually take the colors. So I'm liking, so those are tools to create color palettes. I'm actually going to just like go into Sketch and create my color palette right there. Okay, so let me see the colors that I need before we start. Actually, let me just close this, and then over here, these are the colors that we need. These are all the colors that we need: primary, secondary, dark, light. And let me open Sketch. Just going to put a text layer here so I know what the hell I'm supposed to do. Okay, those are the colors that I need. I'm going to just create a rectangle really quickly, probably 96 pixels. And I'm going to start with the most boring color in UIs, which is, and the most common, I guess, which is blue, just the blue, a nice blue. That's going to be my primary color. And, or should we get crazy? Should we get a little bit crazier? Let's go like purplish magenta, like around here. I'm actually colorblind, so all of these colors here in this area, like around here, they all look almost the same. Like I mean, obviously when I see the changes, I can see the changes there, but it's really hard for me to distinguish between a purple and a blue, or a pink and a blue. So, but I know that around here you get like a magenta. I know this is magenta. So that's going to be my primary color. It's going to be like really hardcore, really nice. That's going to be my primary color. My secondary is going to be probably going to keep it analogous. Sorry, not analogous, but like kind of like monochromatic. So my secondary color is just going to be another version of that magenta. And I'm just going to go and desaturate it a little bit. Just going to desaturate it. Probably this one I'm going to even, not only that, but I'm going to go a little bit darker. That way, and pretty saturated, and that way my primary color is going to be working with white text, and it's going to have a really good contrast. If it's not too light and it's saturated enough, you put white text on top of it and it should be readable enough. And there are some tools that you can actually check that later. But that's a good base. Anyway, that's my primary color. This is my secondary color. Let's create a dark color. And the dark color is usually for, I use it for text. What is going to be the color of my text? And I usually recommend not using just 100% black. I would use another shade of probably your primary color, just a very dark shade of your primary color. So I'm actually going to do that. So let's say that this is my primary color. You can use, I don't know, you can go crazy on this, but I usually go unsaturated and really dark around here. Look, you can go like saturated and around here. This could be your text color. Anything around here. Anything around. Don't go all the way down here because I don't know, it's kind of harsh. It's kind of hard in the eyes. I don't know who said this, but I kind of like the idea of like, hey, a little bit softer, not too dark. Around here. This is going to be good. This is going to be my dark color. And all of these things, don't worry too much about it in the beginning. It's like, oh, I need to get the perfect color. All of these things you can perfect later, just make a choice, make a decision, and just like keep moving, that's because if not, you're going to be philosophizing about color for hours. So try not to do that. Secondary light color. So light color is going to be like for backgrounds, for just like whenever you want to have like white and then something that is a little bit darker than white. So I'm going to actually use my secondary color and I'm going to just like go super light, like almost there. You see like how light this is? It's just like, it's for those colors and sometimes when you want to differentiate a button or a background or a form, that you need a grayish color, something that is not white exactly. So I'm actually using this same shade. This same hue. I'm just going really desaturated and all the way up in the light color. You can do that, or you can actually just use a gray, and you should be fine. So anything around here, you get, and you can have multiple shades of this gray. Sometimes you want to make different differentiations of different states and stuff. So you can create, like, for example, one that is light and one that is not as light. So a little bit darker, just a little drop of color there. And there you go. Now we have a really cool system that I can start with. This is my dark, my primary, secondary, light, and lighter. And those are my ones. Then I have system colors. You don't always have to create these. You only need them when you actually need them. And just like success, info color, like warning and danger. Let's actually just like create them really quickly. I'm going to just like duplicate this guy and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say success. Usually you want to have like a green. We are like, I don't know, probably because of like lights, like how, I don't know, green is associated with success, with everything is good, go, continue. So I usually use the green for success messages. Send anything around here should be good. You can go a little bit more yellowish if you go here, or if you want it to be a little bit bluer, you can go over here. And not too bright, not too dark. It's just something around here. Okay, that's my success color. Let me go over here. I need one that is warning, and warning usually you want like an orangey color. So something around here and around there. If you don't see a huge difference between these colors, that means you are colorblind, my friend. That means you're colorblind. I am colorblind. For me, these two colors are almost the same. So, but other people, they're not. So, I don't know. Probably as a colorblind person, I should be better at actually differentiating these two. But it's really hard. It's whenever you want to have something that is like warning, something's wrong, actually use an icon, not just only based on color. Use an icon, use clear copy that says, hey, something is not right. Because color, just using an orange color is not enough. Because for people like me, we need that. For me, that looks green. I know it's not, because over here, it's on the reddish color. So I know it's not green, but it looks green for me. Anyway, cool. So that's orange. Then that's for warning. Let's do one for info. And info I usually keep it on blue, but like a like a blue that is around here. There you go. It's not quite like a button. It's more like, hey, let me tell you about something. It's like a really soothing color, like a blue calm color. That's usually what I use for info things. And warning, we already did. And danger, danger. For danger, I mean, red, right? It's almost like no, it's a no-brainer. And don't go all the way like saturated red, all the way to the corner. Like do something around here. It's bright and it's not all the way to the right in the saturation level. Something around here should be good. By the way, for me, red it's actually a soothing color. For colorblind people, red doesn't look like something that's like, oh, for other people apparently jumps to your eyes and it's like, red. For me, it's like, oh, just red. Anyway, cool. I'm gonna stop talking about my color blindness. And apparently, it's really common. Color blindness is really common amongst men, and it's one in every 5 people are colorblind. But they didn't even know they were colorblind. I think I wouldn't even know if I weren't a designer that I was colorblind. Okay, cool. So we have our colors. Look at that. How cool is that? So now that we have colors and we want to reuse them in different shapes and different stuff, probably a good strategy is to create graphic styles for your colors. So I'm actually going to I'm going to do that. So here on the share styles, I'm going to close this animal thing. And I'm going to create a new share style. And I'm going to create a palette. Is that how you... Okay, I don't know if that's how you write palette, but let's say yes. And I'm going to call it dark. Palette dark. I'm going to copy this because I'm going to reuse it. So this one is going to be called palette primary. And see how I'm not calling it pink. I'm not being very specific about the color because those things can change. So having something called primary, it's better because like if you change the pink, then your graphic style is not called pink. It's just called primary. The decision to make it pink was just a quick decision that we made, but we do need a primary color. Anyway, you get the idea. So this one is going to be called palette / secondary. And I don't know if you noticed, but I'm using palette / oh my God, I have a hair that is going up my nose. It's so annoying. Anyway, sorry. This is so I am able to actually create groups. This is something that is pretty useful. This is available whenever you're naming something that is going to be shared, like a text style, or a graphic style, or a symbol. Using the / on your naming convention will actually create groups. Anyway, you probably already knew that. Whatever, Pablo. Let's change the name of this one. And this one is going to be light. And this one is going to be lighter. This is just how I name them, but you can call them whatever you want. And this is going to be actually, I'm going to call them system, and so, just so it's separated from the color palette, from the brand colors. So this is going to be called success. This is going to be called warning. So system / I'm going to copy this so I can reuse it. Warning. This one is going to be called info. Da, 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 and danger. Da, 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 da. Okay, cool. So I have my colors. Look at that. We're done with the colors. And again, don't overthink the colors. It's okay. You can change this later. Okay? Don't overthink where you're starting. You just want to have the basic elements first so you can just move on. And you don't so when you're making your actual, I don't know, your layout, you're not really thinking about the colors, you're thinking about the actual layout, and you're thinking about the visual hierarchy and things that are more important later. The colors, you can change them later and actually fine tune them. So okay, we have our colors. How cool is that? Let's actually call it colors. Look at that, so pretty. Now you can go a little bit crazy and actually like seeing that everything is really well aligned. I usually use a system of 8 pixels for everything. So I'm going to go and use Anima to actually create just a stack, and I'm going to say that it's 8 pixels between these elements. I'm going to do the same with these guys. I'm going to say that it's 8 pixels. The cool thing about using the auto layout plugin from Anima is that later if I want to say, hey, it's actually 16 pixels, it does the panning for me, which is awesome. I'm going to say 8 pixels. So now I have my system. I'm going to 1, 2, 3, and now cool, it's looking good. And you want to get even fancier, you can select them and then actually go 8 pixels, and now look at that. How fancy is that? Okay, cool. So we have our colors. Now let's jump into typography. So let me go over here and typography. Again, I'm going to be using this font called Plex. This is a font from IBM. They just it's an open source font. It's just a free font that IBM released, and I've been wanting to use it, and you can download it on GitHub. And it looks like a really cool font for web projects, and you can also download it for desktop. Once you download it, you will see. I'm going to go over here and just like show you what's up. So it gives you the CSS, all the documents, guidelines. If you actually want to use it, go to the folder called fonts, and then inside you're going to see mono, sans, and serif. Three different types or styles. I don't know what you call them. We're going to be using sans for this one, and then you go to desktop, and then you change it to Mac, and then look at all these different fonts here. Look at that. We have all different weights, and it's great. So it's great because you want to have different weights on your system, at least one regular and one bold or semi-bold, depending on how you like it, the difference between the texts. And you want to have like italics too. So this is giving you all of those options. I think it's a great font for that too. So, and then we're going to be using a perfect font scale. I'm going to explain you about it in just a second. And the perfect font scale gives you a 1.33 for each font that you create or that goes up. It's whatever the size of it multiplied by 1.33, and our base is going to be 16 pixels, and we're going to be creating headings, paragraph, and a link. So okay, let's go back to Sketch, and if you want to know, just like go to type scale, hold on, search for type scale, and then type-scale.com, and this one actually gives you just a preview of how it could look. Like for example, augmented font, perfect font. This is giving you just like a preview of how it could look. It can also give you a preview here of how your font will look. And you put the base of it, so 16 pixels, and then it will create a typographic scale on that base using a different scale. So for example, perfect font or Mayor Third. You can also use, if you are hipster enough, you can use golden ratio. I find the golden ratio to be too much. It's just like it goes from one size to the next one, just like it jumps extraordinarily, I don't know, ridiculous. So I want something that is not too much. There's still some contrast between the different headings, but it's not like right in your face. So perfect for, I found it really good. It's a good scale. You can, I will say that augmented for is actually pretty good too. It's just like that gives you even more contrast between one heading and a different heading. For this practice, perfect for, which is 1.33, and this is going to give us this. So let's go back over here and let's start just typography. Let's put it there. So over here, or let's call it design typography system. Let's call it that. And then here, let's start with 16. Already we are at 16, and that's going to be my paragraph one, my base one. And then I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to just go 16 by, so I use the asterisk to multiply, 1.33 right here on the size. And now I have my age, let's say it's an H4. And then this one, I do the same. Actually, before that, you want to round the numbers. You don't want to have like 21.28 as your size. 21 will be good. So now I have 21, and I go over here to the size, and it's 21 by, with the asterisk, 1.33. And then now we have 27.9. That sounds like it's 28. So let's change it to 28. Then let's go up, and now 28 by 1.33. There you go. Now this is 37. It's looking good. It's going to be probably my H2. And then this, my H1 is going to be 37 by 1.33, which is 50, 49. Let's go all the way to 50. Keep it cool. Or 49, whatever you want. Okay, so we have 50, 37, 28, 21, and then all the way down to 16. So, and that's it. Now, if you want to, you can change the style, the weight of it. So I prefer if changing it to bold. If it is a heading, I like it to be bold. You can do whatever you want. There's already really good contrast between one heading and the other because of the size, but I like it to have really strong contrast, like a really good hierarchy between this one and this one. Probably you want this one to have a different weight. Anyway, do whatever you want. We have this. Now let's actually create our thing. This one, one that is a little bit smaller. So this one will be 16 divided by 1.33. And this gives me 12. So this is going to be my label. And that's it. Now let's actually start creating our textiles. Let me pause a little bit and see if your comments, you added something on the comments. Well said. I'm understand my home theater, lazy boy recliner. You're not a call by man. You just get tired with colors. I wish it was just that, but no, I am really colorblind. Is there a way to live preview artboard when editing symbol? Huh. Maybe a separate window for editing symbol. Can I get the answer? Wow, you're insistent, Satish. You can preview you just put another instance of your symbol next to the symbol you're creating, that you're editing, and then you'll see live the changes. Like I usually do that. Like on my symbols page, I just insert an instance of the symbol next to wherever I'm actually editing the symbol. And then I see live whenever I'm changing something to the symbol, I see a live changing there. So you can do that too, Satish. Hey man, great job. Inspiration for youngsters. Cheers. Hey Paolo, love you too. Pudge Peter. Okay, cool. So let's continue with doing this. Hopefully, if you have any questions, just like put in there. Could you share the list somewhere, please? Happy Thanksgiving, my friend. Okay, cool. Happy Thanksgiving for you to you guys too. Okay, so we have our system. Now I'm going to be able to use it. I could probably create another one. This one could be for jumbo sizes, so 50 by 1.33. Cool, and this is a 66.5. Let's keep it at 66. Okay, cool. So now we have our typography system or scale system. Let's start by naming this as textile. So I'm going to add a textile with this one, and this one is going to be P/black/ what should I call it? Left. There you go. And that's it. It's just that I want to create a system where I have it in different colors. So not only black, but also white. And I also want it to be, textiles do not allow me to have just one textile for black paragraphs. I need to have one that is left aligned, one that is center aligned, and one that is right aligned. So it's kind of annoying. It's actually super annoying, but you get the idea. This is how you do it. So hold on. Something that I forgot to do is actually add the line height. So the line height that Sketch gives you, sometimes it's not enough. So for example, 16 here, it's giving you by default 20. I want to have it, my paragraphs, at least my paragraphs, to be 16 by 1.5. So now it's 24. So that's going to be my line height. I just save it, and there you go. And now I want to do the same with center. So center line, and now here I'm going to create a new textile, and this one is going to be black and center. And I'm realizing what I was missing. So I was missing the weight. That's another thing that you need to do here. For paragraph, sometimes you want to have both paragraphs, and sometimes you want it to be just regular paragraph. And again, you want to always be the same. So let me go back to my organized textiles, and I'm going to go over here, black, and then regular, and then slash center. And then here it's going to be regular slash left. I know this is, you can do it the other way around. You can be, say, left and then regular. Let's actually do it that way. I prefer it that way. First left and then regular, and then over here first is center, and then at the end is regular. And done. Okay, cool. So we have that. That's my center one that is regular. Now I want one that is both. This is really annoying, I know. So both. So now I'm going to create a new textile, and then at the end, instead of regular, I'm going to say both. I'm going to remove this too. There you go. And I'm going to do the same with this one. So this one is going to be, let me just change it to, instead of regular, I'm going to change the weight to bold. You can probably use semi-bold. It looks like bold is pretty bold here. You change it, okay? You make a choice here. Create a new textile, and here left, instead of, it's going to be bold. No, without the slash at the end. No slash at the end, sorry. There you go. So now whenever I create a new textile, that one, now I have the option to go center, left, and then bold. Center, bold, or regular, left, bold, or regular. And let me organize my textiles. It kept that freaking slash. Okay, cool. So you get the idea, right? You want to separate them. And usually you only do this for paragraph texts. The headings, unless you want your headings to have different weights, you don't do it. And that's why I'm leaving the weights until the last thing. Okay, so now let's call this, create a new textile. This is going to be label. Oh my god, what was it first? Oh, black and left. Is that how I was saying? Yeah, black and left. And then let's do another one where it's black and right. And let's center align it and create a new textile. This is really annoying when you're doing it the first time, but it pays up, because later you just keep reusing this thing and you don't have to think about it anymore. Okay, so this one is going to be my H4. So it's H1, H2, H3, H4. So let's call it H4 black left. Create new textile, H4 black left. And then sometimes I probably need center, so let's create a new textile, black center. Ave Maria Purísima, I know. And this one is left aligned, right? So now I have it here, and boom. And now this one is going to be H5 black left. So, ooh. Line height. Don't forget about line height. So here, this one should be 50 by, whenever headings, you want the line height to be a little bit smaller. Whenever the font is actually getting bigger, if you keep it at 1.5, 1.4, then the spacing between the text, I don't know why, but it looks like it's gigantic because of the size of the font. So you want to keep them a little bit tighter. So for example, this one that is 50, I want to multiply it by 1.1. By 1.1, and that gives me 55. That is going to be correct. I'm going to do the same with this, 37 by 1.2. 37 by 1.2. There you go. So it's 44. And then this one is going to be 28 by 1.22. Probably 1.3. But anyway, you make a decision after you see it. And all these things, you have to put it together and then make a decision. Oh, I need it to be a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. I'm just doing it right now because since I'm creating a system, it's better to start the right way right away. Okay, and this one is 28. I think 28 is too much. So let's bring it down to 25 actually. 25. change it over here. And this one, 25, and then change it over here. Your paragraphs, yeah, give them a little bit of more room to breathe in, and so you can, I don't know, so you can read them. But your headlines, you want them to be a little bit tighter. Okay, and let me show you how it's going to look. So your headlines, this is a headline. See how it looks really good with that line height? If I had used the one that it gives you by default, it's just like there's so much space between them. So that's why we're tightening it up. And I could even make it a little bit tighter, but let's keep it like that for now. And okay, we're ready to keep doing this. I know it's really annoying to just like do this thing, right? But it pays off later, guys. It really pays off. So let's do this one. Create new text style, H3, black, left. And then duplicate it and center it, and I create a new text style, and I just call it center. There you go. And now this one is going to be, hold on, yeah, and this one is H2. Create new text style, H2, black, left. And I duplicate it, and I center it, and I create a new text style. La la la. I know. This one is H1. Create new text style, H1, black, left. Probably you didn't sign up for this, right? You're probably saying, this is really boring, Pablo. What the hell are you doing? I know, but you gotta keep your stuff. Oh my God, H1, black, center. You gotta do the boring stuff, to have fun later. You gotta do the boring stuff first. That's life, baby. Okay, cool. So, and this one, I'm going to call it Jumbo. Whatever you want it. It's just like a big ass font that sometimes you use. So I'm going to use call it Jumbo, and left, black. No, first is black, and then it's left. Black, left. There you go. And then if I want it to be center, let's change the alignment, and then change it here to be centered. There you go. Okay, cool. Ave Maria Purísima. Ave Maria Purísima. Look at that. Now it's looking so pretty, right? Look at that. How cool is that, guys? Are you guys proud of yourselves? How proud of yourselves are you? Okay, so paragraphs usually have a ton of crap that you need to do. I'm going to actually delete that one. This one is center. Yeah, I'm going to center, and I don't need this, and I don't need this either. I know that those styles are there, but I don't need to see them. If you want to see them though, you can just duplicate this, and then change this to, instead of left bold, regular left bold, and the same with this. And instead of center, bold. And there you go. Now you have your system complete. Boom. Let's change the spacing between them. Distribute unevenly. Yeah, it's okay, whatever. Distribute unevenly. Yeah, it's okay, whatever. There you go. Look at that. It's looking pretty good, right? Now you probably saw on my naming conventions that I was naming them Jumbo / black and then / blah 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 blah. That's because sometimes you want it to be white too, because if you have a dark background, you want to have text that reads on that dark background, and usually you want your text to be white to have a better contrast. So I'm not going to do it right away. Let me just you know what, I should be doing it. Who am I kidding? I should be doing it, at least with these ones, the left aligned ones. You know what, just going to change the color of them to white, and I'm going to put this background a little bit darker so we see what's going on. And then here, each one, I'm going to create a new text style, but this one, instead of white, black, I'm going to change it to white. I'm going to copy this so I can just paste it. There you go. Same with this one, create a new text style, instead of black, white, and then remove this. Boom. Oh my God. So much work. It's gonna pay off, my friends. It's gonna pay off. Gotta do the work. No pain, no gain. I'm using the sayings from a shitty gym coach. There you go. No pain, no gain, my friend. Okay, training textile, white. There you go. There you go. That was easy, right? Now we have our left align, at least for left align, left align white typography system. There you go. We have it. It's ready to go. We can do the center one later. It's okay. We will make those as we need them. Okay. If we need an age one that is not black but white, we can just create it. Okay. For now, we start with this. Okay, we have our colors, we have our typography system. How pretty is this looking? Are you getting excited to start like creating crap? I'm getting really excited to start creating crap. I'm going to actually use my thing. Left. There you go. I'm already using it. Look at that. Typography. There you go. Okay, so now let's jump to the next thing. Next thing is going to be buttons. And buttons, just going to create really basic buttons. And I'm going to actually create a symbol for this. Just a basic button, no icons, nothing like that. Just like a primary, secondary, tertiary button. And I'm going to use the colors as symbols, as nested symbols. So that's going to be fun. Let's go and do that. And before do that, let's take a pause and see the comments. Sketch together with Caveman. Where are you from, Pablo? Do you think it is difficult to get? Much love and respect. Ivan Uruchurtu. Ivan, I am from Mexico. It is being a Latino. It's I was privileged because my parents applied for a visa when I was a young kid, when I was a teenager. So I was privileged in that my parents did that, and they actually got a green card or whatever that was a long time ago when it was easier to get one. So working over here, trying to get over here and work, I seen it with other people, and there's some struggle, just like trying to just like get to a place where they can work legally. So that is the first thing that is kind of well, it's hard. So I would say yes, it is hard for that, and but there are some ways to get here. There are some companies that give you like sponsorship, and that there are some companies that are. There's one that is called Designers Fund, I think. Designers Fund, yeah. They have a program to actually bring people from other countries into the United States, and designers from other countries, and just like work with a company, and they help you with all that stuff. So I would say that yeah, it's not easy, but there are some ways. Um, so that is one thing. Another thing that makes it a little bit harder is just obviously your accent and your, well, you're probably coming from a different country. It's your culture is different from the United States culture. So there's I don't know, like a gap between a bridge that you have to cross to get to that place where you feel comfortable talking to other people, and using all the lingo, and like using all the lingo on product design, and just like using the words that other people also use. So for me, it was a little bit difficult to get to that place. Like, but you only do it. You only get to that place by crossing that bridge, and just like plodding, and just like going through it, and just like pushing. So yeah, and as a Latino, just like also, I think it's kind of hard, like right now, like seeing how the climate is here in the United States. I don't know. There's you see a lot of the people in power, the administration. It sounds like they don't want us to be here. They don't. They see us as, I don't know, like they call us rapists and criminals and all this stuff. They they don't have a lot of love for us brown people. So it's kind of hard on that. It's been kind of tough, to be in a country where I don't know where. I don't know. I don't know who are these people that looks like they kind of, I don't know if they hate me or they just like don't want me here, don't want us here. So it's kind of tough to go to work thinking about those things, and just like going to a party or going anywhere and thinking like, is those people that voted for that person and supporting that person, are those people here, and are those people just like not wanting me to be here? So you start thinking about those things, and it's kind of tough. But the hell with that, right? And the thing is that I just recently turned into an American citizen, so I shouldn't be feeling like that, right? I'm following the American dream. So, but for all of those that don't have that privilege that I have, that I'm an American citizen, and for all those that I was in that position where I could lose my visa anytime if someone didn't want me to be here, they could just say like, hey, screw you, get out of here. A lot of people are in that position, so they don't get the privilege that I have to just like talk openly about those things that I feel. And for sorry, it's a little bit tough for me to talk about those things, but it's hard. It's hard to, I feel for them, and it's not easy. But it's all good because design, it's I don't know, for me it's, I find design as I don't know, the coolest thing ever. And this community, I love this community. So it's a good escape, it's a good place to be. Anyway, I'm getting sentimental, and this is actually it's putting me down. Let's get back up, okay? Hopefully I answer your question. I just like ramble about my feelings. And okay, so anyone who's interested, here's the link, designer fund. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Sudeep. Came from Africa, I hear you, man. Nate. Yeah, man. Cool. But we're in this together, my friend. We're in this together, my friends. Okay, so screw the haters. Okay, we're here together. We have the power to create shit, and not just whatever we want. We have the power to create. You as a designer, you have this amazing superpower, and use it for good. Okay, so yeah, let's continue with our design system, my friends. I'm from Pakistan. I understand your feelings. Yeah, man. Okay, cool. Let's go back. So now we are going to get into the fun stuff, creating a symbol. So we're creating just a basic symbol with colors. But the cool thing is that we're actually going to use a color as a nested symbol. So let's jump straight to it. And what does a button have? It's a rectangle and a text layer, right? How difficult it is to be a designer. Oh my God. Too many rectangles. Out of control. Okay, so we have this one, and now let's put a text layer on top of it. So primary button, let's call it primary button. And let's change it to white. We already have this. Look at this. Apparently we don't have white center. God damn it. But we can create it. Create new textile, white, center, bold. There you go. I didn't create a white center. Oh yeah, on the white stuff, I didn't create a center. See, this is where I needed it. Okay, cool. So there you go. Apparently, change the options here of my canvas. This color is driving me insane. Change it to something a little bit bluer. There you go. Probably it's going to be better to, yeah, there you go. Okay, so I'm going to say that it's 16 pixels on the top, and let's make it 16 pixels on the bottom. 1, 2. and 60 pixels on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now let's make this a little bit smaller. That way, 16 pixels all the way around. And actually 24 on the sides. And oh my God, 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Now we have our primary button. Let's just start with this. This is going to be our primary button or color. Let's call this background. Always be good with the naming conventions of your symbols, because then your overrides are going to make more sense. Okay, so here on your text layer, you want to always have your layers named correctly. Okay, we have those. Let's create a symbol. Create a symbol. Let's call it, I don't know, UI / button / primary. Actually, let's remove the UI. Let's just call, no, I will need the UI. Okay, UI / button / primary. Okay, cool. So now I double click on it, and now we have our symbol here. Let's actually, I'm going to create a symbol out of this color. So I'm going to call it UI brand. No, actually I'm going to call it palette. And I'm going to call it brand / primary. There you go. Now I have another symbol over here. I'm going to actually make this a little bit smaller, just so it's a different size. And then this one is going to be different. I'm going to just like make it the size of the button. So now we have our first color of our first symbol for colors. And this is really important because now I can just create I duplicate this one, and I'm going to call this, for example, secondary, and I can have a system of colors that I can use in symbols too, as nested symbols, which is pretty cool, and you're going to see why in a minute. So primary, I'm going to use secondary. I'm actually going to make secondary a little bit lighter around there. I'm going to change it everywhere, and I'm going to go and make this, what should this one be? I'm going to say that it's lighter. So this one over here, instead of secondary, is going to be lighter. Oops, lighter. And then over here, I want to actually have one that is white. I know, that's crazy, Pablo. What are you talking about? So no share style, I'm just going to change it to white. I think it's important to also have, as part of your nested symbols, a white color. Now another one that is dark, I'm going to change this to dark. La 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 la. Palette dark. There you go. Starting to look good. Let's go with the other one that I think it's. So we had lighter, and we need light. Just light, which is like a gray, like a light gray, but not too light gray. Okay, cool. So we have this. Now we want to have different shapes for our buttons. So what I can do is have, I'm going to actually create another symbol out of this. So this is a symbol that is an instance of the color, right? So I'm going to actually call it color, and I'm going to create another symbol on top of it. So this is going to be UI button resources, and it's going to be shape / 4 pixels. No, sharp. There you go. So now I create another one over here, and you're going to think, what the hell? This is crazy. What are you doing, Pablo? You're going crazy, my friend. You are going crazy. But no, this is going to make sense. Again, I'm doing this again. Now this is a symbol with another symbol inside this, but on this one, I'm going to put another text that is going to be masking this. So the first one, I don't need to mask it because it's sharp, but I want to create another instance of this, and this one is going to be 8 pixels. 8 pixels, and that means that it's rounded for 8 pixels. So I'm going to create another layer. I'm going to put it over here, and it's going to, my radius of it is going to be 8. And now I'm going to use this one as a mask. I'm going to call it mask over here. Just right click, mask, and now we have a mask, baby. We have a mask. I'm going to make these a little bit smaller because I don't need it to be that big. I'm going to do the same with this. La la la. I'm going to make this apparently God. Layer, arrange, run to pixel. What's going on? What did I do? Okay, Command Z. No! I told you there were going to be mistakes. Anyway, let's keep it like that. It's okay. So we have our shape, 8 pixels. Let's do another one. And this one is going to be for 4 pixels. So 4 pixels. This mask, instead of 8 pixels, is going to be 4 pixels. So it's really smooth. And it's going to call it here. My symbol is going to be called 4 pixels. Let's do another one that is 100 pixels. That is like totally round. So over here, 100 pixels. Let me just make this a little bit bigger so you can see what's going on. So I have one that is sharp, 8 pixels, 4 pixels, and 100 pixels. There you go. So this one, my mask is going to be 100 pixels. And that way we have this, this little shape. And then over here, this instance of this symbol, I'm going to call it shape. And now we're ready. Someone was asking, hey, how can I see live when I make changes to it? You can just insert here on the symbols page. You can insert as an instance of the symbol and it's going to be fine. So I'm going to go here, symbols, UI button. I'm going to put primary. I'm going to put an instance of this. And now that I put an instance of it, see how now I'm able to change the shape of it. And I'm able to change the color of it. I can change it to a dark button. I can change it to a secondary button, primary button. White, you don't want to do white because that would be kind of crazy with white text. Probably we can do another instance of, let's not do that. Another instance of this to change it to have also symbols as text, but we're not gonna do that. Let's not get too complicated. Just don't make that combination because it will not make sense. But you see what happened here, right? I have one symbol. So I first created this symbol that is my button, and then inside that symbol, the color, I created a symbol out of the color, and then I created a system of colors that I'm going to be able to use as nested symbols. But then I created another nested symbol that has the shapes, just for the shape. And that way, my primary button, I'm able to have different shapes and different colors. Pretty cool. Hopefully you understood that cool little trick. It's going to save you a lot of time. Now that I have a system, I can just like reuse that symbol anywhere. Something too that since this is center, I don't really need to do anything about this. You can either keep it just like this, so your alignment is auto, and it's always going to grow, so it doesn't break. And that way, look, my symbol is always aligned to the center. And for this instance, for this kind of symbol, you don't really need to do anything to the sizing and position of it. You could change the size of this to be the size of the actual width of it. But for me, to be honest, I don't think it needs to be that. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't really make a difference. And if it does, leave it in the comments and tell me what the difference is, because I want to learn. Okay, cool. We have our button system ready. Let's insert it over here just so we have, we have our system of buttons, and then we have one that is for 8 pixels for sharp. We have one that is for 4 pixels, one for 8 pixels, and one for 100 pixels. Pretty cool. Let's change I want my default to not be sharp, but I want my default to be actually 4 pixels. So my default is going to be always 4 pixels. So over here, I need to change it to this one, shape, sharp. If I ever need a sharp button, I will have it there. Okay, it's looking good, my friends. Look at that. In an hour, we have a system that we can pretty much use in any site. We can just like any other stuff, we can change the typography, which you can just select it and then change the typography here to something else, the typeface to something else, and we can just reuse it. As long as we are using a perfect 4 type scale, we can just reuse it, which is pretty nice. And then if we need to change I'm going to duplicate this one over here. If we need to change the color of primary color, or client didn't like that pink, that client did not like that pink, you can just come back here and change it. Change it to blue, a blue, because corporate blue, it sells more stuff. People are ready. better clicking the blue. Okay, so you just change it there and look at that. It changed it everywhere else where I'm using that blue. So pretty cool stuff, right? That's the beauty of using a system. Oh my God, somebody I'm seeing. Let me just say nope, goodbye. That's the beauty of using a system. That's the beauty of keeping everything consistent. That way, you can just like come back and just change one thing, and then it changes everywhere else. Okay, we're almost there, baby. We're almost there. I'm not going to create these. These are going to be. Let's jump into actually creating patterns and for navigation and some heroes and some cool stuff. Now we have the elements. Let's get into the cool stuff, guys. Okay, first thing, a navigation. Let's create a hero, and then we can create the navigation inside, okay? So we have our system. Let's just call it style guide here on my page. Style guide. I'm going to create a new page, and this one I'm going to call it patterns. And I'm going to create, let's just start with desktop, okay? We're not going to be creating for responsive today. Let's just keep it nice and quickly. So I'm going to create a new artboard. I'm going to press A, and then here in responsive web, I'm going to go desktop HD. Let's just zoom out, and now we have a 1440 pixels wide artboard, and that should be enough to have a desktop size. And the first thing that I want to do is actually create a layout grid. And for this one, we're going to use a layout grid of 1200 pixels, okay? And it's just like the default on other CSS frameworks like Bootstrap, which is like 1200 pixels, the widest you can go, other than full width. So I'm going to go to View, and then obviously you want to select your artboard. View, Canvas, Layout Settings, and then here, apparently I already have 1200 pixels. I'm going to center this, and then here the cool thing in layout settings, you put the total width of it, and then you say how many columns. Right now I'm keeping it at 12 columns, and then I want my gutter to be, the default is 30 pixels on Bootstrap, but I like to keep it again on an 8 pixel grid, so I change it to 32 pixels, and now it keeps my gutter at 32 pixels, and my column width is not in an 8 pixel grid yet though, so but I prefer my gutter to be I don't know, I prefer my gutter to be less, the spacing between the elements to be right. Okay, in an 8 pixel grid. Okay, cool, so we are ready. I press OK, and now I have a layout grid, and I can start putting crap on top of it. So we are going to be designing a hero. So hero, these are the heroes that I'm going to be designing. Let me just take a note over here. No, I didn't want to create a rectangle. To create a note. There you go. So I'm going to create one with that has a mobile, one that has a mobile like zoomed in, pretty cool mobile. One that has a content center, one that has a center content plus an image in the background, and then a floating box. So I actually created some really quick. Let me just crop this thing. There you go. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to put it over here in my patterns just to see what we're going to be making. So we have navigation, and then some copy, like a headline, some copy, and then a CTA or button, and then just like giant ass phone or an iPad. And then the same here, but with a phone. Same here, but centered with a CTA with a button here. And then over here, one that has a full width image, but we have a box that is floating on top of that. So those are the heroes that we're creating today. And the cool thing is that now that we have a system, this is going to be fairly easy to create. So first thing, let's call it this. This is a headline. You guys help me put in the comments what should be the copy of this thing. I'm going to leave it to you, and I'm just going to copy paste whatever copy. We need a headline copy, and then we need a tagline, like the stuff that is after the headline. And we need it now, my friends. So what is this product? What are we selling? Just like come up with something. Come on, you guys got it. So we have this, and I'm realizing that I actually don't. I want another version of my H3 that is not bold. That I want it to be able to have the contrast of size between those two, but I want one that where the size is good, but the text shouldn't be bold. So I'm actually going to create a new version of this that is regular. And this is going to be called H3. Let's keep it on H3. Create a new text style, black left, and regular. There you go. Now the other one should be called bold. So now I have to go back to H3. And this one is called bold. We want to keep it consistent. Let's keep it consistent. There you go. Okay, cool. So H3 has two versions. One that is two weights. One that is bold and one that is regular. Okay, now it's 24. Let's keep it around 16. Let's see if you have some comments on what should be. Ave Maria Purísima. I love that. Ave Maria Purísima. Should designers go? Headline, this is not Photoshop. I love all these ideas. Okay, I'm going to use Ave Maria Purísima as part of making brands beautiful. Making brands beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Thank you guys for your ideas. I'm going to go back for more ideas in a bit. Now, the cool thing about having a grid is that we can use the grid to just like say, how many columns is this going to be? Like 6 columns, 5 columns. Let's keep it at 6 columns. This is, I really love this. I really love this copy. Making brands super beautiful. No, let's make it more pretty. There you go. It's just like really vain, really bad copy. We did not care about the copy. And then this is a headline. Let's copy some other stuff. Should designers code? Should designers code? Let's find about it. Let's find all about it. About it with this app. I don't know. We're just making up stuff, my friends. We're just making up stuff. It's okay because we're just practicing. Okay. Okay, 16 pixels here. This is looking good. Let's insert one of our buttons. UI button primary. Let's put it right here. Start learning. Let's say that is a learning site. I don't know why. Let's say that it's a learning site. Let's keep it 24 pixels here. It's looking good. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's make it at 3 columns. There you go. It looks like you're click here. Come on. Okay, so what should this be called, my friends? Olvidaste la exclamación. There's a revision. There are already revisions here. Ave Maria Purísima. And apparently also Purísima has it's an accent. I mean, if we want to be Ave Maria Purísima. Making brands pretty. Should designers code? Let's find out all about it with this app, with this course. Yeah. And then let's call it Sketch Together. Why not? Sketch Together. Sketch Together. I don't know if you have ever seen my old videos had a jingle in the beginning, and the jingle was Sketch Together. I want to go back to that jingle. I think we need that jingle back. Okay, we have our logo. It's just like font. It just use the H4 for the logo. And over here is just a typographic logo. Let's put it courses. Courses. And let's do something else. I don't know, about. And then let's do another one that says contact. The typical links that you find in navigation, right? Let's do P, black, left, regular. There you go. Now it's looking good. Let's do something with another type of button. And this one is going to be, let's say that we create we use a secondary button here. Let's see how it looks. I don't think it's going to look that good, but let's see if it looks good. Shape, and then let's go 100 pixels, and let's make it a little bit smaller. And sometimes you don't need this, but it's good practice to have another action here. Probably could be just a login action or like sign up or something. Have another CTA over here. There you go. And I'm actually going to make it a little bit smaller. It's not, I don't like it. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. And now I'm going to use auto layout to keep the distance between these elements consistent. So I'm going to use auto layout, and then here I'm going to go to 48 pixels. And now it's 48 pixels between all these elements. I really like it. I'm going to align it to the left, to the right, sorry. And let's see if it's, yeah, 8 pixels. There you go. There you go, guys. We have our navigation. It's pretty dope, my friends. Pretty cool. Let's create a symbol out of this, actually. I'm going to create a symbol because we're going to be reusing this a lot. So it's a good idea to actually create a symbol out of this. I'm going to create a rectangle here. What is the distance between these elements? It's 18 pixels. It should be 16. All these guys, 16 pixels, and then 1, 2, 3. Now it's 16 pixels and 60 pixels. Let's change this to white. I don't think we have white in our palette. We should. There you go. And that's it. Now let's create a symbol out of this. And I'm going to create a symbol. UI, nav, top, nav bar. There you go. Now we have a symbol that we can reuse. It would change it in one place. It would change everywhere else. And it's not the best idea to have the full width of your rectangle to be that, because probably you want to be able to change the sizes of it. There's no way to have a max width. That's the only bad thing about this. Anyway, let's just keep it at that. Let's not worry about it right now. And let's start. Let's put. Sorry, let's put a mobile phone here. Okay. So I'm going to create another rectangle here. It's going to be representing my background, and it's white. Just going to turn it white, and then I'm going to change the background of the actual artboard to just I don't know, just a light grays, just so I see where the actual hero stops. And there you go. Let's actually add some. Oh my god. Let's see what the padding of all this stuff is. Oh my god, mistakes. I'm making mistakes. I'm going to group this. I'm going to call it content. And let's see, the spacing here is 144, and I think 144, it should be a multiple of 8. I think it is. Let's see. Let's see if what Google says. 144 divided by 8, it's 18. Yes, it is a multiple of 8. So, and then over here, we want to have the same padding. So let's bring it a little bit closer, and 144. There you go. Pretty dope. Now let's actually put a mobile phone here. So for this, you could download something, but I don't know. I'm feeling good about this. Let's actually create one. Why not? Let's actually, I'm going to iPhone 8, not the iPhone X. We're not designing that one. Okay. So I just want a template. I just want iPhone 8 front. And there you go. So I'm going to copy this image, and I'm going to go over here, and let's just create it. Let's have fun creating this. It's so easy. We always like download it from YouTube, and we want to have someone else do this for us. But once you actually make it and you just make something simple, you're going to realize that this is not that hard. It's just like really simple shapes. So I'm going to go ahead and pop. There you go. Just a rectangle, and probably want to put a border so I can see what the hell is going on. I'm going to remove the fill, and there you go. Let's make it a little bit bigger. I'm using Command and then the arrow keys to make smaller and bigger. There you go. Now let's change the radius of it. Pretty big radius. Look at that. We're already almost there. We're almost there, baby. Now circle here. And this doesn't have to be perfect, you know. You're just using it for your own. It's even better if it's not perfect, because then it's different. It's different than everyone else's. It's yours, right? And it's I don't know. It's always good to put the work into it. I know I could have just downloaded something from the internet and not just like worry about this, but it's always good to put into practice what you do. Design. You know, we are designers. We are creators. Why not create this from scratch? Okay, I'm done justifying justifying me doing this. I'm done. You get it. Okay, let's remove the fill so we know what the hell's going on. Okay, almost there. My computer is not liking this. My computer is getting hot. It's just, I don't know. It's not really liking it. Okay, I think we're ready. We are ready. We are ready. Let's remove the border from it. Look at that. How difficult was that? Nothing. It was like that. Like that, I tell you. Okay, so let's put this all the way to the back. Let's add a fill to this. Let's add a gray fill and remove the border. All of these, probably I want them to be, actually let's use our system colors, our palette. Let's use the light one. There you go. Now we're even using our colors. How cool are we? Let's use this one, palette dark. And then I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to change it, no share style. I'm going to use a different color. Okay, so it should be around there. How many pixels is this? I think it's 1 pixel. Let's give it 2 pixels. So let's make this. There you go. Look at that, my friends. We did it. We did it. Can delete that, and now it's all vector. We have it. And that's all you need. That's all you need. When you're doing mockups, oh, make it more realistic and all that, you don't really need that. You don't need that. It's all good. Care about this. What's in here, that's the important stuff. Here, it's just a representation of whatever mobile they're using, right? And you could even remove all this stuff and just like something that is just telling you, hey, this works on a phone. And that's it. That's all people need. Okay, so now let's add some effects just to keep it actually pretty cool, to give it a little bit of volume. So I'm going to add an inner shadow. I'm going to say that it's 0 here, and I'm going to add some blur to it just to make it a little bit those rounded edges. And again, this is optional. You don't have to do this. You want to keep it flat, you can just keep it flat. I like to give a little bit of I don't know, a little bit of volume. Just again, it just creates the illusion of it having that little bit of volume, right? Okay, and actually 5 pixels, 4 pixels, 4 pixels, just enough. And then these are good enough. And let's call this a screen, just in case we ever need to add something to our screen. We're gonna add it later. Okay, now let's call this camera sensors. And this is my home button. I need to name this everything. If I don't do it, I feel really bad later. It's just like it gives me anxiety if I don't name my stuff the right way. And apparently I'm missing something here. Oh yeah, this is border. The border patrol. There you go. This is probably too dark. Too dark. So let's use something else, or let's use the light one. There you go. And on this one, let's use just a darker color. There you go. Okay. Look at that. We have a phone, my friend. We have a phone. And now we can reuse it as much as we want. We can even create a symbol out of this and just replace the image inside it. Let's just keep it as this for now. So let's put this lock so we don't lose or I don't know, its proportions. So we have our little thing. Look at that. Let me turn this off so we see what's going on. Okay, it's looking good. It's looking pretty good, my friend. It's looking pretty good. Oh, damn. We even made it the size of 3 columns. Is that destiny? Is that just what it was? Oh my God. We made a perfect 268. We did it this was pure chance. pure chance we did it the exact size of 3 columns. That is unprecedented. Are you recording this? Okay, cool. So we have our first hero or superhero. You could play around with this, like make it probably give it a little bit more spacing. Probably these two you want to align them and then make this a little bit bigger. That way it is like that. It all depends on what you want to do. Also, let's actually add a little bit of shadow to these groups. You can add to the group the shadow, or you can add to the body layer. I'm going to just add it to the group. Actually, you know what? It's bad practice to add it to a group, because if you add it to a group, then that shadow is not exported when you export it. No, I'm going to keep it to the shadow to the group. That way I can just change it later. And I'm going to make it a little bit over here, really soft that shadow. And then also here on the opacity of it, I'm going to go all the way down to 10%. Now let's turn this off. See, it's just a little bit like it's a little bit really soft light on top of it, and it gives you this sense of volume that is like floating on top of a background. Okay, Ave Maria Purissima indeed. Ave Maria Purissima, making brands pretty. Making brands pretty. That's such bad copy. I love it. Okay, let's continue. So the next one is going to be a hero where this thing is just like giant. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can use this same thing and just with a giant ass phone. So I'm going to, what should we do? What should we do? What should we do? So I don't know. I know what we're going to do. We're going to use the transform tool. But to use the transform tool, you have to ungroup. I know this is going to sound really crazy, but this is how you do it. You ungroup. No. Oh yeah, but you need to ungroup this one too. Now that everything has been ungrouped, now I can use this one. If you don't have it already here, just go right click here, customize toolbar, and go find it. It's somewhere here, transform tool. So, and it's going to look like this. And this allows you to actually create perspective. You didn't know you could do perspective, huh? You didn't know you could do perspective on, hold on, am I transforming? Yeah, there you go. So now you can do stuff like this. Oh my God, look at that. This is going to get a little bit crazy. Oh my God, look at this. This is not that great. Have fun. We're having fun. That's part of it. Okay. Oh, and you press command while you do this, it allows you to just do that specific. Oh my God. That's that's what happens. That's what I don't like about the transform tool, because if you transform it, if you don't like it, you cannot go back. You have to go back all the way here and then start transforming again, because it will not allow you to just like keep transforming, coming back later and then start transforming again. I'm not really liking this idea of the transforming, my friends. Oh, man, I'm being too committed. Anyway, we learned the transform tool. Don't use it. Still use Photoshop for this stuff. We failed. I fail you, my friends. I fail you, and I'm ashamed. I'm not going to do that. That was crazy. Using the transform tool here is crazy. So what we're going to do is just keep it like this, and just make it bigger. Just make it bigger like this, and we're going to crop it with this. We're going to use this as a mask, the background, and now it masks the whole thing. Now these two things, I'm going to actually mask them. So these two things, yeah, there you go. Now we have our zoomed in version of it. It's not with the perspective, because doing perspective here is going to be too crazy probably. If I wanted to look like an iPad, I could probably make it look, let's just keep it like that. Cool, we have two heroes. Let's move on to the next one. The next one is going to be center align, and then we're going to do one that is has the content floating. Let's take a break and see what's up in the comments. What are you guys saying? Ahora entiendo por qué estás fresco haciendo el live. Apenas van a dar las 10 aquí en Ciudad de México. Ya casi son las 12. The Border Patrol. the, mobile, the mobile background color, little annoying. But the Nestler streak was dope. I didn't really get it. Yes. Okay. What is the best way to transform the crazy looking patterns, such as skewed angles, for instance, to CSS? Uh, I don't know, man. I actually don't know. I I don't know. I'm sorry, Leo. That's a question for a developer. Show height. Let's go for review. Okay. What's that? Womba combo. Okay. So. Oh my God, my friends! Thank you for being here. Let me take a break to tell you that I really appreciate you being here. Uh, let's continue doing this. Let's do a couple of heroes more, and then jump into these things. It's going to be quick, okay? I'm going to love it. And let's just duplicate this thing. I'm going to get rid of this background. Oops, sorry. This group. I don't need this thing anymore, and I don't want this to be a mask anymore, so I'm going to ungroup it. Let's go to call it background. And now we want this to be centered, so we're doing this one. We're going to do this one with everything, the content is centered. Okay, so let's we already have this one, H1 black center. Look at that, easy peasy, black center both. Well, we need one that is center regular, so create a new textile. I told you we're going to be doing new textiles while we actually design it. There you go. Then this doesn't need to be centered. We just center the hell out of this thing. This thing doesn't need to be a group anymore. Look at that. So cool, guys. How easy was that? That's the cool thing about having a system. Once you have a system, then it's really easy to start iterating on these things. Just like, hey, let's do a different combination, and just like, let's try this other type of text. Let's try this other style, and it allows you to do this kind of things. It's there's a cool thing about starting with a system, because having a system will allow you to do these things. Okay, let's get a little bit crazy with this. What if we have a couple of I don't know, like a couple of mobile phones that are rotated 45 degrees. Why not? Why not, I tell you. No, actually, instead of 45 degrees, let's say 30 degrees. 30 degrees, and this one is like around here. This one is around here. It's not the prettiest. So we're not making brands pretty? What are you doing then? Let's do something around here. Are we having fun? Are you entertained? Okay, something happened with that spacing. That spacing is not correct. That's not what I was expecting. Okay, let's do a mask again. Let's see how it looks with a mask. And let's put it all the way to the back. And it's looking cool, right? I don't know. Imagine this with actual, with actually good looking designs here. It could look pretty cool. Around there. Yeah, there you go. I think we've seen this kind of design where it's like crazy rotation on the mock-ups. This is not the best. Play around with it, but this gives you an idea that not everything has to be flat. You can play around with the angles and with the rotation as long as it makes sense in its own brand. Go a little bit crazy. Why not? Okay, cool. So I think this one is a little bit too high. There you go. And just to make it a little bit so it looks a little bit better, what if we use the craft plugin? So I'm going to go to manage plugins, and I'm going to go to craft. I'm going to turn it on. And now that it's turned on, now I can use the content generator thing. So I'm going to go over here, custom photos, and I'm going to go Unsplash I don't know, city photos. I don't know why. There you go. Ah, it's looking cool, right? Let's do the same here. Let's replace all these photos with city photos. City photos. Now my designs look like not too bad. Look at that. That's actually pretty dope. Pretty dope. Pretty dope. That's the beauty of using the craft plugin for this kind of stuff. Okay, cool. So we're ready. This is looking good. We have our heroes. We have another one with a floating box. This is I don't know if you ever seen this kind of design in other places. It's actually pretty cool where they use a big image in the background, but sometimes the image in the background, it doesn't work great for any type of text. So you want to have something that separates the text from the background, and sometimes it can be just an overlay. Let's actually do the overlay here. It can be an overlay, or it can be I don't know, many different things. You want to have a good contrast between the content text and the image. So sometimes the image just and the text work together perfectly and you don't have to do anything about it, but most of the times you have to do something. So let's actually try it right now. So first thing, I'm going to change this to white. So H white left. Apparently we need center, so H white, create new text style, center. I'm going to change the color of this to just a darker background so we can see what the hell is going on. I'm going to go over here to my symbol. Good thing is that on my symbol, I can just delete this, return over here. There you go. I'm going to actually need another instance of the top knot bar where the top knot bar is dark. It works for dark. So I'm going to do the same here and change this H3 instead of black, white left. And then here, all of these, instead of black, let's change it to white, left, regular. And now we have this one top knot bar that is dark. Go back to my patterns and I can change this to this one. And now it looks great. Power of symbols. Okay, now let's change this one also to white. I don't think, okay, white left, but I need a center. So let's create a new text style that is center. There you go. And we need it to be regular. So create new text style, center, regular. And I need to go to organize my text styles. So this one should be called center, bold, left, bold. There you go. Be consistent. Always consistent with those kind of things, my friend. Now it's looking good. Now I'm ready to actually make it put an image on this. So I'm going to go back here and on splash, and I'm going to do the same with city. Just a city photo. Oh, it has to be a layer. So I was selecting a group. That's why it didn't work. There you go. So it looks beautiful and everything, but my text, see how I cannot read the text perfectly? That's because the some of the in the photo, some of the elements are light, and since my font color is white, it's not enough contrast separating the color of the separating the text with the photo. So many things that you can do. One thing is adding a shadow to all these elements. I can add a shadow to it. I can probably to the whole group. I can add a shadow. Just see how it looks. And now it's looking a little bit better. It's 50% shadow. Another thing that I can do is add an overlay. And this is a cool trick that will guarantee you that whatever photo you put in on top of behind is the text is going to be readable. So here on the fills of this rectangle, I'm going to ungroup it. This rectangle, right now it only has an image, right? Turn it on enough. I want to put an overlay on top of it. Just going to add a fill. I'm going to put it solid. You can do a gradient or whatever. I'm going to do a solid one. And then this one is going to be black. But the black, instead of 100% opacity, I'm going to go all the way down to 50% opacity. And now you see, you can still see the image, but my text is readable. And it will always be readable regardless of the image because it's dark enough that the text is going to be the text is going to be separated enough from the image. That's 50%. Probably is too dark, so you can play around. Probably 40% is enough. I'm going to keep it at 50% because I want to have that contrast just good enough, just good. And let's test it with a different image. So I'm just going to duplicate this and see. Now I go back over here to craft and I do another photo of a city, whatever photo, and it's going to look fine because I have that overlay. I do a different photo and looks good, whatever it is. Even if the photo is light, my text is going to be readable. So that's a good trick. Always you want to have contrast, but to achieve contrast, sometimes you have to use different different tricks. So that's one of those, just using an overlay. So hopefully that helped you. So now we have another hero ready. How cool is that? Dude, our system is looking pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, let's go to another version of this, another hero version, another one with an actual that we don't need an overlay, but we put a square on it. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to actually duplicate this one. I'm going to go all the way here. I'm going to delete this thing. I don't need this to be a group, and I don't need this to be a mask. There you go. So now I want this to be left aligned, and I want an image here. And image, that's my accent. I'm sorry, image. I don't know how to say it. If I put an image on the background of this, let's say again, let's keep it consistent with a city. See, it's not working, right? My text is not readable. This is not cool. So what I can do is actually use a rectangle. Why not? Let's bring back our thing here. And why not? Let's put a rectangle here. And let's make it actually one more column. And now this thing, let's center it. The spacing is 50. Let's keep it. Yeah, 50 should be good. It should be 48. But anyway, let's keep it at 50 right now. 50, and then we can make this a little bit smaller. Look at that. How cool is that? Now I can change the photo of this to whatever I want. Let's change it to, I don't know, whatever. Another city. It's looking good. This is looking good. So now the only problem that I'm seeing is that now my navigation is actually unreadable. So I can get to a place. Right now it actually looks good there. I can change it to the one that is light. And it works with this one. But you want to make sure that whatever the image, whatever the size of the artboard is going to look fine. So I would add an overlay on this one, but a gradient overlay on my image that just goes from here all the way here. So on my fill, I'm going to add another overlay. And this one is going to be, I'm going to move it here, just like this, just like this. And then here, I'm going to, both colors have to be black. Both colors have to be black. But one of them, this one, the opacity of this one should be 0. Change it to 0. And now you see how it separates. It makes your header navigation to always be separated from the background. And you can make it a little bit, probably instead of 50%, it can be 40%. Here, the opacity of this one. And 40% should be enough. There you go. How cool is that? Yeah, let's try it with a different photo. Let's see if it works with a different photo. This is, if it breaks with a different photo, you know that you have to change that. It actually even looks even better with this photo. Let's try a different one. Okay, see, now it's starting to break. So you want to make sure that it works with that one. So if you want to make sure that it works with that one, probably bring the opacity of this side to 50%. 50%. Now it's working. You can make this a little bit softer, a little bit bigger, so it blends with the background a little bit more, and it's not as stark. The gradient is not like right away. Just like it's softer, right? Look at that, softer, smoother, subtle, and your menus options are readable. Perfect. Okay, so I actually don't like that photo, so I'm going to go ahead and change it to a different photo. Oh, there you go. We got the same photos before. Cool. Hope you like that trick. It's pretty cool. Usually I like to have these kind of boxes when the photo is actually like a face or a person or something that is going on. The action is over here. So then you want to have something that separates the background from the image like that. Right now, in this photo, it doesn't really make sense to use this style. You want to probably have a face over here or something that is going on, and then you want to use this style. But this is just for practice, so it's okay. Okay, we have our heroes. Let's move on to content. Content, like blocks of content that you're going to put on your landing page. Before we move on, let me just open Google Chrome and see. As your hero text route does not start on the grid, is it okay to break rules sometimes? Yes, break the rules. And probably what you do want to keep consistent is your spacing system. A lot. Gaurang, a lot. Yes, so transformation possible in Sketch? No. Yeah, so there, actually, if you're using a CSS framework, probably inside that div, there will be some columns inside that width. No, actually, no. What the hell am I saying? No. Just keep your padding consistent. There, I use 50. I should have not used 50. It should have been 48 or 56 because I want to keep my spacing consistent. So I should have kept it at a multiple of 8. So, but yes, break the rules when it makes sense to break the rules. Just like try not to break all the rules. So, like for example, there, I should have followed an 8 pixel grid. That should have been the only guideline or the only rule that I follow. And then from there, okay, let's break the rules a little bit here. Okay, hopefully that helped. Matthias, I also want to know more about spacing between H2 and paragraphs. How do you do that? The H2 and paragraphs. Well, we're gonna get into that. Actually, we're gonna get into the content and we're gonna practice that. Matthias. Hello, you got the pronunciation right. Oh, that's great. I'm glad. Cool. Okay, so let's move on back to this. Let's actually put here sketch together. So whenever I open this, we see sketch together. How many people do we have here? Doesn't tell me. 83 people watching. Whoa, that's super cool. Almost 2 hours, guys. Thank you for being here. Again, I cannot be thankful enough. It's Thanksgiving. Gotta be thankful. Okay, let's go back to the content. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be super fun. Okay, we're gonna create all these fun things, fun patterns. So I'm going to actually duplicate this just so I have it, and I'm going to just crop this. So I have this and I only this. Crop it. There you go. And then here one heroes. I'm just going to crop the heroes out of the rest. There you go. So our heroes are here. You are my hero, and you are my friend. What the hell am I saying? Okay, cool. So let's make this a little bit smaller, just so it's the size of a block. And again, you want to keep your spacing consistent. So we're gonna get into that a little bit later. So we have one that has an image like full width and full, like half of the div, half of the container is an image. So that's going to be this one. And then we have content on the left. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's going to get rid of this. And let's say 800 pixels is the height of this. Let's make this, I'm going to actually do this. I'm going to start putting all of my patterns here. Okay, so the first one is going to be 800 pixels. I'm going to duplicate this one. And I'm going to put it all the way to the center. There you go. And I'm going to put an image on it. Again, a city image. Okay, looking good. And then on this one, I could, there are two ways that you can do this. You could center it to the container of this, or you could keep it just like this, like the size of this. I like to have a little bit more padding here. So I'm actually, instead of 6 columns, I can make it 5 columns. So here, I'm going to actually pin this. I'm going to pin this. And actually, no, I don't need this. And I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. There you go. And then I'm going to change this instead of H2, I'm going to change it to H2. Sorry, instead of H1, I'm going to change it to H2. There you go. And then this one is going to be, I'm going to add left regular. I'm going to actually add some content from here. I don't know, headlines, article. Yeah, let's go to cooking article. I don't know why. Cooking article, and then I'm going to delete this. Oh, I hate it when, oh my god, when Sketch does this. I don't know why you do this, Sketch, but just fix this. Anyway, cool. So we have some content. I'm actually going to even make it a little bit smaller, this content. Usually you want your content to dictate the design. It shouldn't be the other way around, but here we're just learning, so it's okay. Okay, so we have, this is looking good, right? Look at that. So we have some content. 1, 2. So right now I'm keeping the spacing between these two. Let's turn this off. 16 pixels. You can make it, again, I'm using an 8 pixel a system of spacing. So everything is 8 pixels. So here is 8 pixels. You can make it 16 pixels. That should be good too. Let's add a call to action, but this call to action is not going to be a button. Let's make it a link. And that's something that we actually added to our style guide. So I'm going to just go ahead and delete this. I'm just going to put learn more. Learn more, and I'm going to use my primary color for this. My primary color, where is my primary color? Okay, I'm going to just add my primary color from palette, primary, and I should probably add it here to my document colors. There you go. Now that it's in my document colors, now I can apply this to this one. There you go. And I can barely see the color, the difference between these two. Can you actually see it? I should probably make it a little bit more obvious. There you go. No, I should use my primary color, my brand color. There you go. And now I'm going to use bold, semi-bold, and I'm going to create a new textile. And this is going to be link. I'm going to call it link left bold. There you go. Learn more. And let's keep the spacing between these two 32. Group it, center it, and boom. Easy. Easy peasy. How cool does that look? Looks beautiful. Let's change the photo. I don't like this photo. Different photo. I do like the photo, but I want something else. No. Oh, I need to put photo. I love that photo. Look at that. It looks so clean, right? It goes well with the colors. Okay, cool. So let's move on to the next thing. Obviously, you can do also another version of this where this one is actually the opposite, where the image is on the left and your content is on the right. So if you want to keep your pattern there, you can totally do that. Let's turn on the this guys, and let's say that this one is over here. There you go. How cool is that? Okay, cool. So we have there are first patterns. Let's call this content. This is called content. Change the photo of this one so it's different too. And let's call these two layers pick. I'm using the plugin called rename it, and then that way you can rename multiple layers at the same time. I'm going to group this, and this is going to be I don't know, photo right. You call it whatever you want. This one is going to be photo left. There you go. Now let's move on to the next thing. The next thing is going to be a floating photo and a floating container, a container that has some text, something like this too. So let's go ahead and actually I'm going to duplicate this, and let's try to use our grid. This is probably one of those places where we have to break our grid a little bit. So, but let's try to use the grid though. So here I'm going to, this spacing is 8 pixels. So I'm going to say that this is how many columns? That this photo is probably, I don't know, 3, 6, 8 columns. 8 columns, and I want this to be floating here. So my container on top of it is going to be, I don't know, around this size. Yeah, this size. Let's add a shadow to it. Really soft shadow. Really soft. Really nice. And let's move this behind it. And look at that. How pretty. How cool is that shit? I'm sorry. Got excited. Too excited. Got too excited, my friends. Let's see the spacing between these two. There you go. No. There you go. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Now the spacing between these two. Let's center it. That's pretty dope. Pretty dope. Let's make it 656. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. This one should be auto. Ave Maria Purísima, indeed. Indeed. Look at that. That's pretty dope. If you keep saying that everything is dope, then nothing is dope, right? But I will say that this time it is dope. Okay, cool. So that's another container. That's another pattern, and let's call this floating container. I don't know. Obviously, you name it whatever you want. We are inventing these things here. Look at that. It looks super cool, right? Let's go ahead and do another one with a mobile phone, and then some features. Features here on the left and features on the right. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy this guy. Copy. Thank you. Let's go back to our patterns page, our patterns artboard. Let's turn on this little guy. Let's I'm going to actually duplicate this. I don't need to, but I like it. I don't need this. I don't need this. I didn't need anything apparently. We can center this. H2 black center. Let's center it to the whole page. Probably it should be the size of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2. There you go. Okay, center to this. Let's make it a little bit. Now let's paste our font, and then center it. And then the font could be probably a little bit bigger. Let's make it the size of this of 4 columns. So it should be 368 columns, pixels. There you go. Look at that. You're starting to see what's going on here, right? How cool is this? And then let's turn this up. Oh, apparently these are center. I didn't want to be part of a group. No. So, no. So this is center. Let's round to pixel. So everything is in 32, and then over here 32. Perfect. Okay, cool. So now let's start adding some text here. So to add text, let's use craft layout 2 again. Title, and then copy. And then the copy is going to be paragraph, black, left align, regular. And then this one is going to be, probably could be an H3, black, left, bold. There you go. Now let's use the plugin craft on type, headline, and then let's change to astronomy. Yeah, why not? And then here, let me just copy some of the content from here. Just some of the copy here. Yeah, whatever. And then over here, oh my god, just some copy. Let's make it the size of the columns. So these should all be 268, I think. 268. Let's try 368. Let's see how it looks with 368. It's looking good. I like it. So that's one feature. Let's see the spacing between these two. It should be 8 pixels. There you go. Starting to look good. This is one feature. Let's add an icon to it. And for this icon, for icons, I'm going to actually use another plugin that I really like that is called Material. So I'm going to go to Manage Plugins and I'm going to turn it on. And I think it's a sketch material here. Sketch material. Whenever I'm not using a plugin, I just turn it off because it I don't know. like I get paranoid that it might be taking some memory out of some performance issues. So I turn them off, and then and when I need them, I just turn them on again. So sketch material, and then this sketch material has something that is pretty cool, and it's you can add icons. You add icons, my friend, and it has the material icons here. And when you insert them, it inserts them as symbols. So let's actually do camera, a camera icon. Why not this one? It's just like, and I think you can change the color of it too. I think, let's say that it changes to, that one. Why not? That one. Whoa, what happened there? No, dude, just put it here. What is going on? There's a bug. Let's put it here. There you go. Something weird was going on there. I'm going to cut this and to put it over here. And I'm sorry, I'm just making things a little more difficult, right? Okay, cool. So now we have an icon. Let's go over here, and you can change the icons on these. Let's do the same. Yeah, Command Shift A. Let's add. Yeah, I don't know. Let's add this icon, and let's put it over here. Yo, no, I wanted the black icon apparently. I'm sorry. I know I'm being annoying with all of this stuff. Yo, what the hell? Oh my god. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on. Okay, there you go. It removed it as an icon. I don't know what happened. Sorry, as a symbol. Okay, so we have our features here. Look at this. This is so cool. Okay, let's see the spacing between these elements. All these elements. I don't know why there's so many groups. Oh my god. This turned into a symbol. Detached from symbol. I don't know what happened there. Something happened and it turned this into a symbol. And that's why I was creating such crazy things before. Now this is not a symbol, my friend. This detached from symbol. I don't know what happened, my friends. I'm sorry about that. That's why it was all so weird. Okay, there was no bug. It was just like something happened that it put that text inside a symbol and it made it crazy. Anyway, cool. So now we have this, and is this a symbol? Yes. No, this is not a symbol. Oh, dude, it's so crazy what happened. It never had happened to me. Okay, cool. We have all this stuff. We have one. We have another one. This is just a template, so it doesn't have to be perfect. We don't have to have the perfect content. Let's just keep our distances consistent. Let's center this too. I'm sorry for all the distractions. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. Let's see it without that. Probably the spacing here could be a little bit smaller. So probably play around with it. Probably this image could be a little bit smaller, or your text layers could be, instead of 4 columns, they could be 3 columns. So play around with it and you make it whatever you think it's better, whatever looks better for you. I'm going to keep it just as before. It might be a little bit too tight here. See how the spacing here is too close to the phone, but play around with it and see what makes sense to you. Okay, so that's one pattern, and let's call this mobile features. Mobile features. And let's move on to the next thing. Next thing is going to be cards. That's going to be easy. I'm not going to do this one, okay? Last one is going to be cards, and it's going to be fun. I'm going to actually duplicate this one, and I'm going to keep this same thing. And on the cards, I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to use the one that is lighter. There you go. And then I'm going to remove all this stuff. I don't need this. I don't need all of this stuff. And probably I do need this content. but instead of H3, I'm going to use H4, black left. And I'm going to keep this content, and it's 8 pixels between them. And I'm going to turn on this thing again, and I'm going to start creating crap. So first thing is an image. This is going to be my image container. Let's make it a little bit darker so we can see what the hell is going on. And let's make them these a little bit smaller too, so there's the size of the container. These are 268, 268, everything is 268. Let's keep 16 pixels between the image and the content. And probably we want to add another text layer here, another one that is learn more. So let's go to, oh yeah, no, not Jumbo, link. There you go. This one is a link, probably 24 pixels. 24 pixels between the content and this should be good. And here we have, this is one way of doing cards, which are not really cards because they don't have a background color. They're more like content, I don't know, like content containers, you know? So this one is one container, and then I can duplicate it. And now we have something there. And all of these could be different images. Let's just go ahead and change them to cities. Yo, what happened? Oh, it has to be photos, sorry. There you go. It's not looking bad. Not looking bad at all. It's 100. So hold on. So these elements from this, what is the spacing? It should be around probably 80 pixels. And then this and this should be, let's say that is, so let's say that is 120. So 120 here and 120 here. There you go, 120 here and 120 here. And I'm actually going to change this back to white. So I'm going to actually add it. Create new share style, white, palette, white. There you go. Cool. So we have one version of cards. Let's create another version where the content of the cards actually have a background. So I'm going to call this columns. 4 columns. 4 columns, and now I'm going to create a new one. And this one, I will use a different palette, the one that is lighter. And then I'm going to actually delete all of this content. I don't need all of these guys. I'm going to create another version of this. So I'm going to put another rectangle. It just like grabs the whole thing. I'm going to change this to palette white. And then, so palette white, and then with a shadow. So I'm going to create a new share style, white plus shadow. And then I'm going to add 4 pixels as my corner radius. I'm going to bring it behind my content. I'm going to make it a mask. I'm going to make it container. I'm going to turn this into a mask. I don't know why you have so many groups. Stop grouping. Stop grouping yourself. This is image. And then these are a group because this is a mask. There you go. And I turn it into a mask because that way I have a rounded corner, and then it also grabs my image here. So that is one way to do it. Another way to do it could have been that I applied that corner radius to the container of the image, to this thing. But this is one way of doing it. You do it whatever you want to do, you do it, my friend. Okay. So I'm going to make this a little bit, have 16 pixels of the padding here. I'm going to use remember we had another one that was 12 pixels. Let's see how it will look with the one that is labeled left. It's a little bit better. So let's actually use that one. No, it's too small. Too small. Let's keep it 16 pixels. Let's see how it looks. 16 pixels. Yeah. Let's keep it at 16 pixels. Let's change the copy of this. It's always this thing, right? Where even your copy, you want your copy to be perfect. And there's a visual aspect to how the copy looks too, and how the words fill a container. So sometimes it's not just what it actually says, but like the worst how you put them together in a sentence so they look good in a container. It's so weird. Like right now, I just made a change that obviously doesn't make any sense, but I just want it to look good on the container. That's pleasing to the eye, and there's nothing wrong with it being pleasing to the eye, and for you to be looking for that, it's something that sometimes we miss, that we totally miss about adding those kind of elements to our design. So it's one thing, but obviously the most important thing is that it has to be something that actually makes sense when you read it. So make sense first and then try to tweak it so it also makes sense visually. Okay, so we have a card, and let's call it card here, and I can duplicate this on my grid, and there you go. Now we have four cards in my grid, and Ave Maria Purissima is looking awesome. I really, really love this. Let's make the now that they have a container, probably the spacing between this and the headline could be smaller. It's so weird, but those kind of things, it's just like you're going to learn with practice. Now you can have a little bit smaller spacing between the elements and the headline. So 56, that looks good. Let's change the images of all these little guys. Change to something else. Photos. This didn't change. Sometimes the random is not too random, and it's just like going through the same photos over and over again. See, this photo is again, we're using that same photo. There you go, 120 pixels, 120 pixels. We have something that looks pretty good. I'm pretty proud of ourselves. Are you proud of yourself? We just did something amazing, and just like in 2.5 hours, we created a design system, a style guide. Then we created some patterns that we are able to use in different iterations of our design for different. These are more like marketing landing pages, but it's still really cool stuff that sometimes you need. Like like we all need like these SEO landing pages because content is king. Someone said. So now we need a lot of these pages in everywhere. What the hell is going on here? Again, another icon. Okay, so we have all of these. Let me turn off the grid so we see how beautiful this is. Let me turn this onto the there you go. Look at that. How pretty is that? Like, it's, and I don't know, it's sometimes you will hear a lot of, I don't know, on Medium posts, on, I don't know, designers like talking a lot about the functionality and the numbers and all the, I don't know, all the no, how do you say it, all the logical side of design, and that's great. But sometimes we forget about these things that are a little bit more the visual part of it, that is a little bit more, I don't know, that is not based in exact numbers. It's more like how it feels and how it looks and how, I don't know, that intuition of how things work together. So it's good to practice those things too and make your very logical designs to also make them look beautiful. So hopefully this helps you guys. Hopefully this helps you like how to use a logical way of doing this, using a style guide, using a system that will help you create beautiful things. And okay, let me read some of your comments, guys. You remind me of Zach Galifianakis. Yeah. I will take that as a compliment. Okay. Hi, Paulo. Was there any reason you had some of your plugins disabled that said affect the overall performance? So, yes, I think it's just really hard to know what are the. Let me put this a little bit bigger. It's hard to know what are the plugins that just like do something to your performance. I would just like the ones that are staples that I always use, that I need to use a lot. I will keep those always turned on, and they're usually like lightweight. For example, the one that's called Rename It. I don't think that one is taking a lot of my memory. It's just something that just renames layers. Another one is like Clipboard Fill, and that's something that I use a lot because I will be copying images from one place to another, and just like I want to put them right away. So, and it's a really lightweight plugin. But there are some plugins that are like a little bit bigger. Like I would say the Craft plugin from InVision is just like a family of plugins that do a lot of stuff. So, and it's always updating. It's always like looking like to things if they're updated. So I would say that like plugins like that are a little bit bigger, I would turn them off and then use them when I need them. And that's it. It's not that the plugins are bad. It's just like you want to keep your performance as lightweight as possible. So I will turn them off because of that. You kill font size. Will you cover paragraphs and text-based pages? And you're finally call the button amen. The border patrol. Okay, guys. About okay, we'll be later. You're great. I'm out. Okay. You remind me of Sakala. Yes. Can you use a crop line instead of for the system? What does it mean? Ave Maria Purísima. Ave Maria Purísima means Holy Mother. No, Holy Mary, very pure. Purísima means very pure. Ave Maria means like Holy Maria. Ave, I don't know. Like Ave means birth, like a dove, like paloma, like a birth. But I don't know. We use it as Holy Mary, Ave Maria, Holy Mary, and Purísima is just like the purest, very pure. There are no set numbers, but what do you recommend as a rule of thumb concerning the X, Y, and blur for soft shadows? For soft shadows, I will also use 8-pixel thing. Just like 8 pixel. Like I will go 2 pixels, 4 pixels, 8 pixels, and then after that I will go probably 16 pixels, and then after that I will go to 24 pixels, and I will go like that. And then depending, the softer the shadow, the further away the element looks from the surface, like, because like when, like right now, the shadow here on my hand is really stark, right? But as soon as I get like the element starts like moving away from the surface, it gets a little bit softer. You see how it gets softer and softer? So you want, just like how you want your elements to appear like closer to the person, to the user. That's what you want. And soft shadows are in right now as with gradients. So you want to use those kind of things that are kind of trendy when they make sense, not just because they're trendy. Okay, so for example, using it on the mobile phone, it makes sense because you want to add volume to the phone, and you want to make it like it's floating, like it's part, like the page is alive, that there's elements that come out of the screen. It makes sense to add a soft shadow there, but you're not going to add soft shadow to every piece of text and everything. It's only to the things that you want to create a little bit of depth, and also to gradients. If you saw, I only use one gradient in the whole design system, and that gradient I used it because I needed it, because I needed to separate the background. Let me just share the screen where I actually use the gradient. The only place where I used the gradient was over here, because I needed to separate the menu from the background. And a soft gradient, it made sense to use it there. So it's, a lot of these decisions are based in style, but some of them are based on actually something that you need. So try it first. Ask yourself, do I need this? If you think you need it, then okay, how crazy can I get? And go as crazy as you can, without making it look cheesy and without making it look forced. So yeah, that's my advice. And so again, this is all practice. Keep doing it. Keep messing up. Keep doing stuff with tons of gradients and tons of subshadows. It's okay. Don't worry about it. And just like go crazy with your designs and making them as trendy as possible. Your taste is going to get a little bit better and better, and you're going to realize that, okay, I didn't need those soft shadows. Try with the soft shadow, try without the soft shadow. Does it make a difference? No, don't use it. If it does, then use it. Try it. The longer you keep practicing, the better you're going to get at making those decisions. Okay. and they're going to become natural. You just use them, you just apply it, and it looks good. Okay. I noticed you had. You remind me about what set numbers. You still use UX Power Tool system. I remember you mentioned that. I used it. I used it for a couple of projects. I didn't really actually use it. I actually used it more for studying. I see. I saw how they created this system, and it was pretty cool. I just like learned a lot from it. But then after that, I actually created just my own systems. I would recommend, if you want to try the free version if you don't have the money to buy it, and just like see how they created, how they use nested symbols, and then that gives you an idea how to create your own system. Okay, there's a lot of value in creating, going through the work of creating your own system, because then you appreciate uh, the amount of work that is necessary, and like how to change this, how to make it even better, how everything, where everything is. So creating your own system, I think it's a good idea. So try to do that too. um, Text float, you how do you text float in Sketch? And we recommend align justify. Align justify is the one that it just like justifies the whole thing, the full width. uh, no, don't use that. Again, try it. Looks good, makes sense, then use it. If not, don't use it. It's all a try and error thing. I would I would say try to keep your for challenge yourself to always use left align. Challenge yourself to always use left align, and use center alignment when it's necessary. When you think it will look better because it's for mobile and everything is just in one column and some elements need to be center aligned, then use that. But I will challenge your I will ask you to challenge yourself to keep everything left aligned. Why? Because it's easier to read when things are left aligned. It's easier to track what you're reading. And you're not just like, your eyes are not jumping from here to here. Like something is center aligned, you're like that. And then something is left aligned, and then you go like that. And it's really hard for the user. Just like these movements take a lot of work after a lot of, and your user is going to be like, screw this. This is asking a lot from me. Click, close, goodbye. So you don't want that. You want your content to be readable, to be easy to digest. Okay, so I will challenge you to keep everything left aligned as much as possible, and don't go too crazy. But I'm just an old guy. What do I know, right? This was fun. Thanks. How are you selecting your fonts? So the font that I selected is called Plex, and it's Plex from IBM. And it's a pretty cool font. It's an open source. This is the first time that I use it. I'd seen it before. This is the first time that I actually use it. It's cool. I usually I will start trying to use a Google font. There are some really cool, like, you cannot go wrong with using Roboto, WorkSense. There's there's Lato or Lota, no Lato, and Open Sans could be one. I don't like it too much, but I don't know. Use the Google fonts that have multiple weights and also have regular and italics. So you want to have one that at least has three different weights: regular, bold, and then hopefully has a light or a semi bold, something like that. And then I would challenge you to use one of those. And now you can use sans serif and serif. Like it used to be that you would want to use on web only sans serif, but now with monitors with such high resolution, you can use serif fonts and they're gonna look good. It's just that all the serifs, the serifs like have some curves and all that stuff. So on all monitors, all of those things will get pixelated. So you wouldn't want to use those. You want it to be like flat, like that's why sans serif were more common on the web. But now, no, I would say that you can use both sans serif and just serif. How are you selecting the font? Thank you for answering my question, Paul. Yeah, good doing. I always look forward for you. Oh, Text float is text around an image. Oh, oh, I see. I don't know how to do it. Is there a way to do that on Sketch? I didn't know. But yeah, use it. Please make video on Anima plugin. I do have a video on Anima plugin. Just search for Flexbox and also one that is called Anima plugin or something. Auto layout plugin. What are you buying on Black Friday? What are you buying on Black Friday? I bought the Google Mini, the speaker, the Google Mini speaker. I bought that shit. I because they were on special. They were $20 off or something. So I bought a couple of those. I'm really excited. Yes, Gaurant Alat is asking about Avenir. Avenir, I love Avenir. And there's also Avenir Next. And it's included if you have a Mac. You can use Avenir because it's included on as a system font. So I would recommend using that one. It's a pretty cool font. And I don't think it's too expensive too if you want to use it on a web project. And yes, Avenir, I love Avenir. But hey, it's all about like depending on the project. Does it make sense to the project? Is this something that is on brand with them? That Avenir is more like a geometric sense. It has a little bit of human side to it, but it just whatever the project, check if that typeface works with it. So using Sketch and following your YouTube is pretty simple. Follow through. Thanks for the in-depth. Monster plays. I'm glad, man. Cool, man. Okay, or woman. I don't know what monster. Hi, I'm from South Korea. Thank you for all your videos. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much, guys. And I think I'm gonna call it off. Thank you so much for being here with me. It's been awesome. Let me just change this to me big. Thank you so much for being here with me. For spending Black Friday with me. No, hold on. It's still not Black Friday. For spending Thanksgiving with me. I'm gonna. This was just a taste of what I want to do. A course on visual design and creating design systems. It's going to be about this, but like each video is going to be like, okay, let's talk about typography. Let's talk about colors. Let's talk about like creating, I don't know, a system, a grid system, how to use a layout and how to use a visual hierarchy and how to create, I don't know, like all this stuff in a practical way. So hopefully I have this crash course sooner than later. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.